So before starting today's video, I just want to say a brief thank you to Luisa Jewelry. Luisa sent me these two beautiful bracelets, which I am planning to gift to my two sister-in-laws for the holidays. One is a watch cuff-like bracelet called the Aura, and the other one is the Lucy bracelet, which has these beautiful, delicate little diamond-looking gemstones on them on a very delicate chain. And I absolutely love both these pieces, and I think my sister-in-laws are going to love them as well. So Luisa is having their last moments of their holiday sale. Their pieces are up to 35% off on their website, which you can find in the link down below. If you are looking for a last-minute stocking stuffer or a gorgeous, fun little gift to give someone, I highly recommend checking them out. Just click the link down below and you can save up to 35% off on beautiful, timeless, simple, cute, classic little pieces of jewelry. Everything I've gotten from Luisa in the past has held up and it looks great, and I still wear it pretty much every day. So thank you so much, Luisa. Hi guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amanda. I talk about my monthly budget. I just get in the weeds on budgeting. I'm on a debt payoff journey to get back to $0 in debt, build up my savings. We also are in the process of buying our first ever home, family of 4, 2 kids. So if any of that is relatable to you, if you like hearing about people talking about their finances, and if you just want some motivation, hopefully, to stay on track as I am trying to motivate myself to stay on track, then welcome and feel free to subscribe and join along. So today we are going to be talking about the November monthly budget. November was a crazy month. It started off kind of, I don't know, the season's changing, kind of down in the dumps a little bit. And then midway through the month, we found a home we really liked and made an offer on it. And next thing you know, the sellers accepted our offer and we started going through the process of closing on the house. So the month of November was a month full of ups and downs. So let's just dive in and see how we did on our budget for the month of November. So for the for checking, okay, so starting at the top. For the checking account balance, I started off the month at around $3,000 in my checking account, and I ended the month with more in my checking account, around $3,700 in my checking. And again, if you're new here, I'm just talking about my husband and I have not fully combined our finances together. I'm talking about my side of the financial coin, and then my husband manages his finances separately, but we still share a lot of everything together. So just for some background. So for income, I did get like a little tiny raise recently. So I'm making like $100 more a month or something very minimal, but still very grateful for that. I know a lot of people are going through layoffs right now, including at my own company. It's just so tough right now in tech, and the job market right now is just flooded with people getting laid off and looking for new work, and it's really, really challenging out there. So I am extremely grateful that I still have my job and even got a little bit of a raise, especially since we're looking for a home. And we're closing on a house. That would really suck if I got laid off. It's one of my number one fears for some reason. I probably need to work on that. But I actually did have a lot of anxiety around that, the last couple months, because some people did get laid off, but not me. So, oh gosh. But yeah, so I brought in around, $6,757 from my job. I gave my husband $600. He was out of work for a while. He has some credit card debt, and, not for anything frivolous, but he just is trying to pay all of that stuff off, and I'm helping him make a lot of progress on that quickly. And for other, this is not true income. This is money I moved from my savings to my checking, which was $4,600. And when I made this monthly budget, I included that under income, but it's money that I moved from my high yield savings into my checking account. And so that was a total quote unquote income of $11,357.50. For fixed expenses, we just have the standard, the usual. We have rent, $24.99. That, after we close on the home, is going to go up. It'll be our mortgage payment, and our property tax payment is going to go up quite a bit, unfortunately. But we're getting a home that we really like, so it works out. For the internet, it was $70.22. Electric was $135, not too bad. Insurance was $258. Our phone bill was $172, for a total fixed expense of $3,135. Yeah, this is definitely going to go up probably by around $1,000 after we close on the home. So I'm going to have to figure out how to finagle my budget. I've been talking about with my husband, and we're thinking, obviously I'll stop giving him $600 a month to help pay his stuff off. He'll take on all of his stuff. And he also is going to take on our car loan bill. So that should free up a good amount in my budget to kind of cover those additional expenses, but it will be pretty tight. So over here at the top, I'm starting to try to figure out where my money is going all together from different categories. So I have my total income, which I had in the first area. My total fixed expense was $3,000. At least this was $8,222. Now let's go to the debt payments. For my car loan, I did the usual payment, and we're down to a balance of $14,941 on the car. And then for my credit card, this is my one and only credit card at the moment. I'm getting really close to paying it off completely. However, I did do a little bit of holiday shopping, and also I put the home inspection cost on, no, not the home inspection cost. I think it was there was the home inspection cost, and then there was that must have been, I put the inspection on my credit card, and then I did not pay it off in full. So that is why it went up by $550. The home inspection cost was like $650. So I do need to make sure I transfer enough money to completely pay that off. But that was a total debt payment of $1,801, which meant my debt did go up a little bit for November, but it should go down soon as I allocate the money to pay off basically all of my the house related, like closing cost related purchases. I'm going to use my high yield savings that I've been building up to cover those expenses. So at the top here, we have total debt payments of $1,801, which leaves us with $6,421. And then let's go down to the savings category here. I said I put $125 of cash in there, which is probably true. So let's go to the savings. Okay, so I redid my format on this budget to include all of my savings accounts, even the little ones, because I, over the last year, have accumulated a few other ones that I had not included here. The new ones are the high yield savings account, the HSA, and my Robinhood, which is like my fun money, my fun money account. So they're both smaller, but I just wanted to add them here to have the full picture included here. So for cash savings, there was the inspection, and then there was also the appraisal. That's what it was. So those are two separate costs. So the cash savings, I took out $475 for the inspection, and then for the appraisal, I think I put that on my credit card. So I do need to clean both of those up by taking money out of my high yield savings and paying for both of those, because that was my intention to use that money for. Okay. HSA, that looked like high yield savings to me. That's health savings account. HSA is my health savings account. Okay, so first of all, so for cash savings, I ended out the month with $4,500 in my cash savings account. For my health savings account, one thing I love about my current company is that they, if I contribute a small amount per paycheck, like I've just been putting $10 per paycheck, then my company contributes a lot into a health savings account for me. I'm paying less money for my health insurance because I'm doing the higher deductible health, and all my insurance terms are probably bad, but I'm doing the less expensive health insurance plan because we don't, as a family, tend to go to the doctor that often. Knock on wood, we don't have any chronic conditions or diseases or anything like that, thank God. And hopefully, obviously, it stays that way. So I've chosen the less expensive over the last year, and this year I renewed it for the same one, the less expensive health plan, but it comes with an HSA. So my company basically gives me free money that I can use to pay cash for the doctor, medicine, or any health related expenses. And over the last year, we really haven't had to spend much money on health related things. So that balance has really built up to a significant amount. So the HSA started off the month at $1,400. And then my husband did go to the dermatologist to just check on some spots and make sure it wasn't skincare. Obviously he's fine, but just a checkup to be healthy. And we spent $102 out of the HSA to cover some of the costs from that. The 529 plans are for the kids. I just contribute $50 per kid per month, which really is not adding up to that much, and it probably won't. So I'm going to reassess. Obviously, anything is better than nothing. Currently, their balances are at $971 for my older child, $871 for my younger child, and I've actually found another 529 plan with some tax advantages in my state that is more of an investment account than the one I'm currently on, which is this 529 plan basically pays for college credits at a fixed college credit rate. Anyway, complicated, but I think I'm going to transfer in the new year over to the tax advantaged 529 plan for my state instead, and which is a traditional investment account, and put that money in there instead. So just for the tax advantage, really, more than anything else. I need to do a little more research about that. For my stock, the stock actually surged in the month of November. So it went from $26,000 up to $29,000 value. So all of a sudden I have $3,000 more dollars in my stock account. Okay, so I was thinking about using this money and combining it with my high yield savings as a house down payment fund. However, thanks to my husband being a military veteran, we were able to use the VA loan for the home. And with the VA loan, the awesome thing about that is you don't have to pay mortgage insurance for a down payment less than 20% of the mortgage. So we decided to put down, because we're not getting penalized for it, we decided to put down a much smaller down payment because we don't have to pay the mortgage insurance on that. And so I will be able to cover all the expenses with just the high yield savings, it looks like, and I won't have to touch the stock at all, which is so exciting. And it's a little stressful because, again, then we also have a huge mortgage to pay off slowly over time. But on the other hand, this stock money, I did some research on looking at 5-year plans, or 5-year estimates on how the stock will do over the next 5 to 10 years. Obviously, no one knows for sure, but I saw some estimates that said it would go up significantly, in that time frame. Like instead of $30,000, I might end up with like $70,000 or even more if I just wait a few more years and be patient with this and leave it as a long-term investment. Even over 100,000. It just depends on how far it goes up over the next decade or so. So I think like the smartest thing to do long term is to basically consider this stock, if I don't have to use it for the home, and obviously it could be an emergency fund sort of, but also think of it more as like a retirement or maybe even college fund for the kids, or a combination of those things, possibly as a retirement fund. It just depends, but it's like a little more accessible than the 401k, because we would be able to cash it out at any time and just leave that as an investment account. So I think that's my plan currently for this stock, since I don't have to use it for the down payment on our home. So that's really, really awesome. For Robinhood, okay, so I have Robinhood as, I started this account back during like the little crypto craze over COVID, just for fun. Like I put like maybe like 50, $100 in there, and it went up, it went down. I lost, I made some money, I lost some money. I really didn't. Then I just kind of left it. I didn't really pay attention to it, but I left it with some money in there. And every now and then I would put like maybe $10, maybe $20 on, just random stuff. And actually that's gone, it's actually gone up pretty significant. I think it's like over 20% since I, like my like the return has been over a 20% return since I had the account. Like yearly, like it's like yearly over 20% returns, whatever. It's like my gambling fun money. But I started out the month of November with $490 in this account, and it went up a lot because of increases in the market. And I still have some of that like ridiculous crypto current, whatever. It increased a lot in value. So I got that went up by $155, which again, this is, if I lose all of this money, it's not the end of the world. This is like literally my gambling fun money. Very, very high risk, very much like a little hobby that is kind of pointless and probably dumb, but whatever. It's fun for me sometimes to mess around with that. Okay, then my high yield savings. I started off the month with $35,000 in that. I took out $4,000 for the earnest money on the home, and that leaves us with a balance of $31,570. We had, it went up a little bit because of the interest rate accruing high yield savings balance there. So I'm going to keep this money in the high yield savings account until all the closing costs are finalized, and then I can look and see how much I have left. So we still need to pay the full amount of the closing costs, which should be less than $20,000, hopefully. Maybe more. I think the recent estimate I got was like $12,000, but I'm trying to be negative and assume upward. So it should be around like $12,000 of closing costs, maybe a little bit more. We did not do a big down payment at all. We also did not buy down the points on our mortgage at all, but the VA has a lower mortgage rate. And then our thought is we will refinance when we can to bring down our mortgage rate further in the future. But we didn't buy down any points on the mortgage at all, which means you like basically give them $5,000, $10,000, and then you get a lower interest rate on your mortgage. But if the mortgage rate naturally goes down over time, then you kind of wasted that money by paying it up front. So we're just going to wait it out and see if we can refinance at a later date, and keep that additional cash in our savings account. We will also have to pay for the move. We're going to have to pay a lease break fee at our current apartment of some kind. We don't know yet. My husband's going to try to negotiate that a little bit. And then we also have to, the last upfront cost I can think of is a washer and dryer that we need for the new house, because it doesn't come, that's the only appliance that it will not come with as far as I'm aware. So washer and dryer is probably like $1,500. The move is probably going to be I don't know, $1,500-ish. So that's $3,000 plus the closing costs. Let's say $15,000 just to be safe on the closing costs. It's like 18,000 plus the lease break fee, which is probably going to be about 2 months worth of rent, which sucks. And that's why my husband's trying to negotiate that. So another, 2,200, which is our base rent rate, times 2 is 4,400. So 18,000 plus 44 is, gosh, it's like going to be, let's estimate high and say like $25,000 of this is accounted for. So we'll probably be left with like $10,000 left at the end of the day, depending on how we can balance things out. So that all of this money is going towards house, which, yeah, I will be doing a house tour. I can also do, I'm planning to do a house tour. I can also do like a home search video at some point, where I can show some of the homes we looked at and what we ultimately went with. But I don't know. I like watching those videos, but I'll have to figure out what I want to do there. And then 401ks. Okay, yeah, this is why investments like in the market, I mean, who knows if we're in a bubble or not, but in just 1 month, they went up $5,688. My 401k went up by $5,600. And I think only like, out of my paycheck, I only contribute currently 8%. So let me see what that is. So every month I basically put in for my paycheck around $820 into my 401k. So imagine if I was putting this in like a savings account, my savings account would only go up by $820, but because it's invested in the market, that's going up by over $5,000 in a single month. So you can see the compound interest really does work after a while. That's crazy and awesome. Anyways, all that to say, my current total savings went from $173,000 up to $177,000, even though I took out $4,000 to pay the earnest money on the house, which leaves me with a total increase in my savings of $4,492. So that is great. I feel like I'm talking too much in this video, but hopefully you're sticking around. Okay, so last but not least, looking at so basically out of my own pocket, I paid $120 into my savings account. That was for a little bit was like an auto transfer, like $25 auto transfer into my savings, and then $100 for my 529 plan. Post-tax, I only contributed $125. That leaves us $6,296 left. And then for variable expenses, which are my random bills throughout the month, because it was Thanksgiving, we definitely went a little overboard on groceries. We spent $1,200 on groceries in the last month. For subscriptions, I spent $35. This includes renting. I think they watched the new Beetlejuice movie, so that was expensive. And our recurring subscriptions are much less amount of that. School, I put $70 towards cafeteria funds. For gas, I spent more than usual. I spent $45 on gas because we're driving around town a lot more frequently than usual. For eating out, I spent $82. For coffee out, I took the kids out to a little coffee shop once or twice. And I met up with my sister for coffee once and covered that expense. And altogether, I spent $61 on coffee, which is much higher than usual. But I do enjoy having coffee out with the kiddos or with my sisters. It's just kind of a nice little low cost thing throughout the month that is a pleasant thing to add in there. For beauty and bath, nothing. Exercise, nothing. Birthdays, nothing. It was my birthday in the month of November, so that's a whole other thing. Yeah, so for my birthday, my husband decided to get me a really fancy Apple Watch, which I know he could not afford cash for it, so I know he took out some financing for that, which is so unnecessary, and that really I'm really trying to get us on the journey of debt-free financial health, security, and all of that. And my husband is definitely the sort of person where if he has money, he spends it. If he doesn't have the money, he still sometimes spends it. And while that's really nice because he'll bring home like treats, you know, like for our house, for the kids, he'll buy me a nice item. He's very unselfish when it comes. He likes buying things for the family, for me, you know, or things that he needs, but nothing too like over the top. But he spends. Whereas I like to hold on to money a lot more and try to control my spending somewhat. He just goes for it. And it's stressful because we just have completely different money styles. And while I like the Apple Watch, like it was not on the top of my wish list, and it was like excessively expensive in my opinion. So it kind of like bummed me out a little bit on my birthday, where it's like, thank you for the thought, but also we're trying to pay off all of our debt and buy a home right now. Like we don't need to be doing that. So yeah, that's why I am happy with not completely merging our finances, because we do not spend money the same way. And I would prefer to like make sure that we're at least somewhat secure. And for him, you know, like I've been watching a lot of like that channel here on YouTube, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, where the guy who does it, Raw Meat, he'll go like into the childhood backgrounds of like why people make the money choices they make. And there was one video on there of like a married couple where the man grew up kind of blue collar, buying whatever, his family would just buy whatever they wanted if they had the money, and if they didn't have the money they didn't. And the girl was from like a lower middle class family where the dad like lost his job when the girl was 12. And like that is so relatable to me. Like that is exactly our relationship, where my dad did lose his job when I was around 12 or 13 years old, because of the .com bust in the early 2000s. He was a programmer, he lost his job, and he actually ever since then never got a job again. He's still unemployed to this very day. And my mom had to like take on the burden of the finances completely by herself. And that like, I don't want to say traumatized me, but it kind of did give me a lot of anxiety around money. And I always am feeling like, oh my God, I'm about to get laid off at any second. And I really am cautious, or I try to be. I'm not really that good with money, but I'm trying to work on it. And I am overly cautious with money compared to my husband, where his family, you know, if they had money, they bought stuff. If they didn't have money, they didn't. There are some like, even I think his dad went through a bankruptcy once or twice, like just very much a more chaotic scenario than how I grew up. And so money just like burns a hole through his pocket. And for me, money is like my safety net. So two completely different perspectives, but so interesting to watch that channel and like see a video where I really see myself reflected in my relationship with my husband. That was a good video. Maybe I'll link it below if I can find it. Anyway, back on track. Oh gosh. For holidays, I spent $185. You know what? I think that the $185 here was for Thanksgiving, and I think we just overly spent on food besides that as well. We just really had a high grocery spend this month. And I know like this $448 was at Costco, and I know I bought like toilet paper, dishwasher soap, paper towels, laundry detergent, like all of the big things we were running out of. And that really added a lot onto the bill for Costco. So that was probably partially why the expense was so high on groceries as well. For family fun, I put $21. Oh, I took my daughter roller skating for her school skate night, and that was actually so much fun. We should do that more often. It was very low cost, and she really enjoyed it as well. For dog care, I took my dog I groomed him myself at the local pet store area. You can do they have like a grooming station, and I bought him some food and stuff like that. And then This was the $4,440 was the home inspection and the earnest money. The $650 was the home appraisal. So that was our initial cost was $5,090 for home related stuff. Oh, you know what? Actually, since the earnest money comes out of the closing costs, that will mean the total closing costs should be less than what I previously said. So because we already paid the earnest money up front, so we should have a little bit more left in my high yield savings than $10,000, between 5 and 10. Should be like, I guess we'll see. I think maybe like if $15,000 when we're all said and done, we'll see. And that was a total variable expense of $6,865, which includes all of these items put together. And going back to the top, total fix was $3,136, rounding up. Total debt payment was $1,801. Total savings was $125 out of pocket. Total variable was $4,889, rounded up out of pocket, which is the stuff that came out of my debit card. The stuff in my credit card is kind of like hiding because it's on a credit card, and that will be included in total debt payment. That's included in what I paid off in total debt payment as a lump sum. But that leaves me with a balance of $1,400 left, but my checking account balance only went up by $700. So yeah, I think I never do this part right, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So I think especially once we get the house and the way that we have to pay everything changes significantly, I may redo my budget template so that it's a little bit easier for me to follow along with and kind of account for where every dollar is allocated towards. So we will see how that goes. But in the meantime, yep, we are on the way to buying a home. We are closing on the home at the end of December and moving in January. So I'm so excited. I will be doing some more like vloggy type videos showing like the moving process, and this will be my first ever home that I own for my own self and my husband as well. And it's a little stressful because it's such a big purchase, but I think it'll work out, and I'm just so excited, and I feel so lucky that we are. Partly I'm kicking myself in the butt for not doing it earlier because I didn't realize anything with the VA. Like, I didn't even realize we could do the VA loan because I'm an idiot, and I forgot that was an option. So we probably could have bought a home a lot earlier, but we bought one now. We really like it, and we're just so excited to move on to this next part of our lives together. So anyways, I will be back shortly with the December update and more details then. And until then, I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.